by nanofiber clothes that make you invisible. Scientists will tell you that possibility quickly gives way to hyperbole, but it's the hyperbole of dreamers. Will hungry nanobots ever devour the Earth? I find that a little hard to swallow. But will we discover new and wonderful things as we think ever smaller? Of that, I'm certain. I'm Andy Boyd at the University of Houston, where we're interested in the way inventive minds work.
A transcript of this Engines of Our Ingenuity episode, number 2461, is online at uh.edu/engines. Additional episodes are available by podcast.
One of the winners from the 2025 Hawk Tank competition with students from Fort Lewis College and San Juan College. San Juan College student Joey DeMartino is here with me in the studio, who is the winner not only of the San Juan College prize, but also the grand prize. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well. Thanks for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's quite the accomplishment, and that equals about $10,000. Am I not right?
Yeah, not a small amount of change, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so you came up with a company called Noise Hub.
That's correct.
To talk a little bit about that, and also the idea behind it is for any kind of audio, I guess, recordings then, right?
Yes, sir. So kind of in a nutshell, we're an audio engineering studio space, also artist management, so I want to make sure I add that in there as well.
Okay.
And I'll key in on that a little bit if you don't mind in
Yeah.
a second. But yes, our main concern is anything that makes noise, we want to make the best version of it possible for you, and basically make it a memorable experience for the client as well.
Okay, and so noise, people might think of something, but you're thinking more music, audio, interviews, things like we're doing right now?
Exactly. So anything, whether it's Foley for film
Right.
or sound design, soundscapes, anything of that nature, that definitely falls into our wheelhouse, our umbrella, as well as, you know, the bread and butter production side of things, whether it's an artist coming in or we're doing voiceover takes for a local company.
Got you. And so you put together this concept to then pitch it to the judges at this Hawk Tank competition. This was a multi-week competition, I think, as I understand it, and there were some workshops along the way, I think, to help you maybe fine-tune your message?
Yes, sir. So I kind of came in a little bit late on the program.
Okay.
Luckily, they
Didn't seem to hurt at all?
No. What was nice about the program is they actually set it up to where even if you were coming in late, they had everything backlogged. So everything was pretty much on YouTube or any sort of other media.
You could get caught up.
Exactly. And so that was a wealth of information or a resource for me that proved very helpful when it came to the competition. One in particular, I remember Professor Dr. Valdez, I believe. Forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, sir.
From Fort Lewis.
Yes,
from Fort Lewis, you're right.
Fort Lewis, yep. That gentleman, I remember he had, I believe he was at Fort Lewis, but they had a Zoom meeting going on, and the amount of information I learned in probably that 45-minute session was, it clearly helped me, kind of get an edge, so to speak. Breaking down things such as COGS, cost of goods sold, things of that nature, things that I hadn't had on my on my radar.
Maybe.
Exactly. Hadn't had it on my radar, and by them having these sort of meetings and groups, it made a world of difference for us. I believe, so especially for me.
Very good. And so how many other folks were involved with you? You're the owner-founder of the company, so it's really your baby.
Pretty much. I don't want to make it sound like, so the big thing with Noise Hub, it is going to be a collaborative thing. However, yes, it is my baby. It's mine. It is my child, so to speak. However, I'm fortunate enough to have a wife that is really well versed in business.
Smart man to give her credit.
Yes.
Okay.
And so anyway, she helped me fine tune the business plan while we were kind of getting everything built together and making sense of it. You know, and bringing me back to earth when it came to any sort of numbers.
Gotcha. Very good. Okay. And you were telling me before we came on the air this morning that this is it can be a portable situation, or it can also be, I guess, something that could be installed on a permanent foundation or in a permanent space somewhere.
Yep, absolutely. As of right now, we've got a home studio. I say we because, again, I like to use that term because it is going to be a collective experience when you work with us. Yes, I do currently have a home studio, which that's part of what we'll be building into, is getting into a bigger footprint, hopefully locally. But we are remote as well, so I'm capable of taking almost the amount of mics you need for a setting, I can show up and get you squared away. Last week, I worked with a local marketer collecting live voiceovers for a client they're working on.
Okay.
And they worked phenomenally well, so it's definitely something we enjoy doing.
Nice. So flexible.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
flexibility, sounds like to
Absolutely.
me. Now, you mentioned artist management a little bit too as
Yes.
part of this company. So talk to me a bit about what that involves.
So it's not your stereotypical artist management concept between, say, a label and an artist. What I'm trying to do, and it might better serve it by calling a mentorship program, and meaning that I want to show these artists how to become their own franchise. I want to help teach them how to take care of their business side of it, not just the professional side, but also making sure things such as taxes and that fun jazz taken care of. Not to make it seem as though I'm somebody's CPA or a tax advisor. However, going through it as a business owner myself, I can help show these individuals, the same path that I've taken in life to kind of help keep things straight in that aspect. Now, on the artist side of it, of course, there's going to come the promotion, the connections in the world that I used to live in, and so that's kind of where, to me, it's a full circle moment. But the big thing is making sure our artists have ownership. We want them to. This is their baby. We're only here to be a launching pad for them. We want them to theoretically outgrow us eventually.
Gotcha.
And so that's the hope.
So does that include, I'm thinking like marketing and things like that?
Yes, sir.
all
Marketing,
those
store
things?
support. Pretty much anything if they need help with the exception of maybe some of the PR stuff. We want them to stay connected with their fan base as much as possible without having a third party such as a label or a company like us in between. However, when it comes to negotiations with promoters, clubs, whatever the case may be, that's where we'll step in and help assist the artist and also make sure they're just taken care of when they're out on the road even.
Gotcha. Okay.
And of course, production.
Right.
I guess I should lead with that. Our artists definitely get a great deal when it comes to working in our studio, and we make the environment for them to put their best foot forward.
Very good. And so again, you've won $10,000 in prize money. Does some of that maybe go back to getting more equipment, or improving the equipment, or upgrading the equipment in your noise hub, or what?
So when it comes to this industry, yes, I always want to be able to throw that money at it, right? Realistically, though, unfortunately, I've been doing this long enough, and I've been building up my collection long enough that we're pretty turnkey on the equipment side. We're
Nice.
good to go on that end. Our big press now is going to be finding a bigger space to be able to have a big thing for us is, again, with that collaboration. We want to have the community be able to come hang out with us, have art nights, have get-togethers, and also have a space where full bands can come in and rehearse or record live or whatever the case may be. So that's where a lot of that funding will go into, or a portion of that funding will be going into moving into a dedicated studio space. The other portion of that will go into sound treatment for the space as well as artist promotion.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay. And so it sounds to me like it's a lot more than just a sound studio.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're trying to make this a living, breathing thing. And again, I keep using the term we. I know I'm the one that's sitting here talking with you. However, I have a network of creators that are just phenomenal, and they've helped get me to where I'm at, and I intend on doing the same thing with them. So, it's basically we can be a one-stop shop if that needed to happen. If an artist needed visuals, we've got connections for that. It's about helping our community and keeping the economy here, keeping it local as much as possible, whether that's getting photos, getting press releases, anything of that nature. We want it to stay right here in this Four Corners area, and New Mexico, or at least close. We want to make sure this money stays here and try to help each other out.
Right. Got it. Now, going back to the competition, talk to me through this, because there were other folks competing with you,
Yes.
with their own ideas and their own dreams and things like that. And so as you move through the different competitions and the different sessions with the judges, and then you were presenting your ideas and maybe listening to the other competitors present their ideas, what was going through your head about how things were going to work out?
Holy smokes, I have an uphill battle. And I say that being that I was fortunate enough. They did a great job of having it to where each presentation was streamed. So if you had the chance to, you can kind of go back. Either you can go in and watch it live, or you can go back and stream it, which I was a little bit kind of in the middle of everything. So I was in the prep room most of the time, so I didn't get to see what was happening beforehand. After I was done, I made sure and ran right back to where I could, get my computer out and start watching and get an idea of what the competition's like, and it was fierce. I got to tip, kind of nod my
Tip your hat.
Thank you. I can't talk today, but tip my hat. I appreciate it. Yes, tip my hat to the other competitors. I didn't walk out of that presentation feeling like it was a lock for me, that being how great the other competitors were.
So when you heard your name announced as the winner, what went through your mind?
again, holy smokes, is this really happening? It was.
I don't know if you really thought holy smokes, but I appreciate you cleaning up for radio.
Yes, I had to. I had to.
Appreciate
right?
that.
Oh,
So it was a surprise.
yes, it was very much so a surprise. I will tell you, the first part of it wasn't the surprise as far as winning the San Juan track, and I only say that because in order to compete for the grand prize, you had to win the San Juan track. So it's not because I thought I had it in the bag. It's
Right,
because
but once that happened,
it was very clear that
you had
that
a little
was,
more confidence in going up against the other competitor from Fort Lewis College, I guess, right?
Yes, I believe that, and I believe that Skodan Farms was the name of that company, and I love their business plan. I can't wait to see what that company has in store, because I think the young lady that's running it has a bright future ahead of her.
Right.
So again, going back to that, realizing, oh, this is my competition. This is going to be tough. This is going to be one of those that to me it wasn't a shoe-in. By any stretch of the imagination. So.
Right. Well, we've been watching these competitions for a number of years, and it's always amazing to me to see the different ideas that are coming, as you saw too, that you're competing against. And so you're a student here at San Juan College. You're studying mass media, I know for sure, because you're in my class, but also film and digital media and things like that too, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct. I'm in the film and digital media. I will be graduating next week, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
that's exciting.
You're in a couple of days.
Yeah. Wow. That's coming up quick on me. That's
Good for
sure.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Very exciting. And so we will see more of Noise Hub, and this is what you're going to be doing after you graduate. Is that the plan?
Yes, sir. Let's say it's a full court press for us. Quite frankly, I've been in it even before the competition. This just really helped say, okay, let's make this a thing. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind as I spoke with you off off air, man. I completely lost any sense of talk.
It's okay.
Anyway, as I spoke with you about that, it's been a whirlwind, and I couldn't be more appreciative of it, though. You know, I may not be getting a whole lot of sleep, but this is exactly what I signed up for.
Good for you. Well, you've been a busy guy this spring semester. I know that as a fact, and I appreciate you taking some time to talk with me about your project and about your business and the Hawk Tank competition, which is always kind of fun to watch these businesses evolve and graduate and win this important prize money that you can reinvest into the community, which it sounds like what you're going to do.
Absolutely. It needs to stay here, in my opinion.
Very good.
And I appreciate you giving me the time to come out here and chat with you and make sure and fumble all the words I possibly could. You know,
that's all right. That's all right, because you're an audio, you can edit them.
Yeah, there we go.
See, so you're be all set.
Hey,
Joey, good luck to you. Thanks for being here.
I appreciate it, sir.
You're very welcome. That is the owner and founder of the Noise Hub, Joey DeMartino, who is the winner of the Hawk Tank competition here between San Juan College and Fort Lewis College 2025.